Hello again to yet another episode of Dose of Sunshine. I am your host, Sunny Nielsen, messaging expert. Today, I really want to talk to you about money and where you are wasting your money. And it might be an angle that you're not normally thinking about in your business, but it's an area that so many entrepreneurs, small business owners, even larger businesses don't take into consideration. And I want you to know this. This is really hitting home for me because I just met with my accountant last night, and I just my brain kind of exploded a little bit, and my stomach hurt a little bit because yes, I had to pay some taxes, and it was quite painful. As anyone who runs a business knows, that you have to pay a certain portion of that to the government, so it can be painful. So we're always thinking about the money. We're always trying to figure out where it's coming from, where it's going, how it's coming in and out and flowing through your business. And I really want you to realize where you might be wasting your money. So let's get right down to business. But before then, I really want to say hello to anyone who's joining me live. Hello, hello. Please drop a note in the comments, #live. And if you're catching me on the replay, of course, I love all of my viewers who are catching me on the replay and would love to see a little note from you in the comments, #replay. Now, of course, if you know of anybody who would benefit from some tips, tricks, just general crazy stories about business, marketing, creativity, or just how to run a business while being a parent, a spouse, I'm a wife and mom, all of those things while running my business is all going to be covered in this show. So if you haven't subscribed to my show, please like my business page, hit the little bell so that you can be notified every time I put up an episode. And if you know of anyone else, again, you can always tag them in the comments, or please feel free to share out this show or any of the other episodes that I have on my page. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. It was really painful for me when I sat and talked to my accountant, because he was going through the numbers, he was showing me all the things, all the deductions, and all of the things that I had to pay for Q3. And he kind of smacked me a little bit. Apparently this is like a theme for me right now. I keep getting smacked in the face with people because he kept going, Sunny, why aren't you building your client base? He's like, when I first came and started working with you, you had a really solid client base. And now it's kind of dropped down a little bit, which if you have been with me at all or you've known me before, you know that I kind of took a step back in the summertime to kind of reevaluate the direction I wanted to go with my business and make sure that I was giving the proper allocation of time and energy both to my business but as well as to my family and my kids. Because earlier in the year, it was not, I can't say that you will ever be in balance, because in reality, you never are. It's always kind of this constant back and forth. You're trying to get it in balance. But I came to a very, very strong realization at the beginning of the summer that I was not in a healthy balance relationship situation between the amount of work that I was doing and the amount of time and energy that I was spending with my family. And this really ties back in really well to this concept that you have to remember that time is the only thing that everyone is equal on. We all have 24 hours in a day. Unless someone has magically invented a time machine, every single person on this world has the same amount of time per day as everyone else. Now, you can't say that they have the same number of days or number of years. No one knows that, right? But the amount of time in a 24-hour span, we all have that same amount of time. And so it all comes down to how we use that same 24 hours. Now, this doubly hit home because earlier in the week, I'd actually had a conversation with a colleague of mine. We were both going through a training program. And so we're kind of accountability buddies in terms of just kind of making sure we're doing the homework and really trying to get the most out of this program. And we were both kind of talking about the fact that, a lot of us are solopreneurs. We're trying to do this on our own. And she made a comment that I really had to stop her and just remind her, because she said, oh, well, I want to be doing these things and I want to have this out there, but you know what? I don't have the money to do it. So I'm just going to do it on my own. I'm just going to take I need a 5-day stretch to learn how to do XYZ thing on this platform in order to do it. And I actually had to stop her because I said, look, I'm all for trying to master certain skills. I really am. But at the same time, I told her, I'm like, is it worth your time to spend 5 full days of not doing anything else, not bringing in any additional revenue, not focusing anywhere else in your business to just learn this one particular platform? Because it didn't primarily connect to her business and what she was doing. It was more connected to how she was distributing her content, how she was getting her stuff out there. And I looked at her and I said, how much is your time worth? Like, really, legitimately, how much is your time worth? And because I said, look, if you break that down per hour and say, okay, say you're $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $500 an hour, whatever your dollar amount is in your brain, that you say, my hourly rate for myself is this. If you break it down by that, I told her, I'm like, let's just say your rate is $50 an hour. At 5 full days, how many hours, how much money have you invested into learning this platform? When in reality, you might be able to find someone who is already mastered this skill, or already mastered this particular software or this particular platform. And guess what? Like, we ran the numbers with her, and it turns out that it would have cost her half to 2/3 to just have someone come in and do all of that for her than for her to dedicate 5 days in hopes of trying to master that skill. And so I really want you to think about this. And if this is resonating with you, please drop a note in the comments. Please write, time is money. And this is the area that I think a lot of people take for granted and don't allocate when they're saying, oh, I'm spending this much money, or, oh, I'm trying to save money by DIYing something. I'm trying to save money in my business by, oh, I'll just take care of it, or I'll figure out how to use that platform, or how to do XYZ thing. You have to remember how much money your time is worth, and make sure to build that into how much you're actually investing in this thing. And that's partly why I fell into the exact same boat. I tried to DIY everything. I was like, dude, I'm going to try and DIY my pictures. I'm going to try and I'll write all of my copy. And I realized, 1, I just don't have the time to do everything. 2, I don't have the skill sets. And in reality, you should be trying to specialize. You should be trying to niche. So you shouldn't be trying to master every single platform, every single service, every single thing that is related to a business. Because in reality, you shouldn't be a master of accounting and sales and marketing and fulfillment and engineering if you're building a physical product. Like, the more digits you put up going, I'm going to try and master this and 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 this, that's all time that you are taking away from dedicating to whatever it is that is your zone of genius, that is your specific niche, and that can really help your business explode. And this is an area that I kind of stopped my friend from realizing that earlier in the week, and then I got smacked with it again by my accountant when it came back on me, because I realized that when I shifted my focus to try and get that balance with my family, I also said, you know what, I'm going to just take a step back. And when I refocus, I kind of started over again. And I went, okay, I'm going to refocus on this specific direction. And I totally fell back into old hat of, okay, I'm going to write the copy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to build out the technical. I'm going to do all of these things. I'm going to. And in reality, I don't have the time, and neither do you. And this is where I really want you to just understand that your time is so valuable. So put it where you can use it the best, where it has the biggest and most impact in moving your business towards success. So this was a lesson that I learned today, or this week, both in giving this advice as well as receiving this advice, that I need to make sure that I know where my time is going, because that time is just as valuable as the dollars in my bank account. And I hope that you realize that your time is just as valuable as the dollars in your bank account. So I do hope that you will kind of just take a nice hard look and realize that there are things that aren't worth your time to learn or invest, and that you can outsource this, or you can hire a person to build a team to help you and support you in moving towards your business goal. Because that's what I'm trying to do right now, and I really want to make sure that you can do it too. Now, if you have any questions about your time, your money, trying to figure out this allocation, you can always drop a note in the comment section, or you can DM me, because I'm happy to help. I respond to all of my comments, and I appreciate every single one of you that watches this show. Now, please know I appreciate everything that you do for me. We will be back again for another dose of sunshine tomorrow. So keep an eye out, and if you have any topics or questions that you want me to cover on this show, please feel free to drop me a line, and I will respond. Until tomorrow, when we come back on our next episode, we will talk to you later. Bye.